Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, I'm back here. So, today I'm going to be discussing my worst experiences in each app. So, I'm going to be talking about one of each experience on Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub, and DoorDash. And usually they're not very common. I'm usually very friendly, and then customers are friendly too. So, most of the time it's just, here you go, have a great day, and then that's it. Move on to the next one. But sometimes there are definitely complicated customers. I know a few people have very hard customers or very impatient or give you instructions where it seems kind of rude, but sometimes it can be because of what happened in their past experiences, but still. So, I'm going to start with Grubhub. So, at least my worst experience with them is, so one time I got a late order for them. It was late at night. It was like maybe 9 or 10 at night, and it was for Taco Bell. So, it was pretty good payout. Like, it was like 8, 9, but I think it was $9. And it wasn't going far. It was going maybe like total, it was like 3 miles. So, I was just like, yeah, I'm going to take that. So, I wasn't on block, so I'm pretty sure that order got dropped. And when I got there, the customer called me and well no customer care called me first and asked me, oh hey, have you picked up the food? I was just like, oh no, I just got here, like unknowingly that it was probably dropped. So then whatever, and they were like, oh okay, thank you, whatever. They hung up, and then the customer called and he was just like, hey, like do you have my food yet? And then I'm just like, oh, what's going on? Like why is why are they asking me? I don't think before that anybody had ever asked, like, hey, did you pick up my food, or like, are you coming this way? So I was just like, oh, I just got here. And he was like, oh, okay, I see. So I'm pretty sure it got dropped. So it was really a little awkward when I got there, only because he was already waiting outside. And I'm pretty sure he had been waiting for a while. So it was just like, a little bit awkward. I'm just like, oh, I apologize. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, it would, I didn't know that, your order was going to be late. So I felt like I needed to rush and everything. So I got there really fast. But it was just like, it was more awkward than a worst experience. But the awkwardness made it kind of weird because I'm weird in general, so it just made it a little bit like I didn't know what to do, like just give them food and then drive off. But for the most part, Grubhub, no issues. Like it's pretty smooth. The customers are nice, but yeah, that was a bad one. So my next one is with Uber Eats. So for this one, I went to go to the restaurant. I believe it was Norm's. So like it was late at night. It was a really really late night, probably like maybe 12 or 1 at past midnight. So whatever. So I went to I think it was Norm's, like I said. So whatever, I went there, got there in like 5 minutes, whatever. Like most of the time, it's not ready, only because I don't know. They're not busy, but they just haven't completed the order. So whatever. So the lady was like, "Oh, hey, it's gonna be 10 minutes." I was like, "Okay, that's fine." So I started being on my phone or whatever. So whatever, time passed, and then it was like 15 minutes. So I asked her again, "Oh, hey, is the order almost ready?" And she was like, "Yeah, the order should be almost ready." And mind you, she's not back there, so she's just, I gave her the name and everything, but she wasn't really like, checking like that. She was kind of assuming that it was almost ready. So whatever. So I was just like, all right, well maybe it'll go by fast, or maybe it'll be done soon. So then another 10 minutes passed, and I was just like, oh, like at that point I was just like, I don't know if they even made it, or if she even knew that they were making it. So I asked her, and I didn't even ask her anything. She just looked at me. She was like, man, why are you still here? So whatever. So she went back in the kitchen, and she asked them, and then apparently the order didn't go through. It didn't get confirmed by them, so they never got the order. So yeah, like I was just there. I basically just wasted my time. Called customer care for Uber, and that was BS because they just give you like $3 for like the whole time. So whatever, I was just like, I was kind of like done with it, like damn. And then like I did text the customer, and then I let them know that like the process of it, and it wasn't too bad with the customer, but that was just really bad when it comes to like, waiting all that time. I probably waited more than a half hour, and it was just like, oh, it's not here, so I'm sorry. But for the most part, Uber Eats is pretty smooth, but that was just unlucky. So the next one is gonna be Postmates. So with this one time I had a triple stacked order, and this was a long time ago, like a few months ago. So back then, they didn't really tell you. They didn't tell you how far the customer was. They told you the restaurants, but it was two restaurants, and I thought it was just a double order. But it was two to Shake Shack and one for another one. I can't remember, maybe Tender Greens. So when I clicked, I accepted it. I thought it was gonna be 1 and 1, but it was two Shake Shack and one Tender Greens, and I was just like, damn. So whatever, I got the orders. Like, Postman is pretty fast when it comes to that. So I just got the orders. Then I left. So at my first drop off, I was just like, okay, like I was kind of like circling. And I'm just like, damn, like there's nowhere to park. So I had to go into the like a parking structure, and it was It was two office buildings. So I told security, hey, I'm just delivering. They were like, oh, that's fine. Like park in here, whatever. So I parked in there, but I had to get a ticket. So whatever. So then I tried to text and call my customer, and first of all, it was very low signal. So like I had to kind of like move around. And then second, like the buildings, well, where I parked with the buildings, it was very confusing how to get to the buildings, and I had to ask. So I got over there. So whatever, but I was able to drop it off to her, but it took maybe like 10 minutes, maybe even more than that. And then remember, I have two more customers going. So I have to go to, sorry. So the second one was smooth, whatever. And then the third one is like texting me, and he's like, where are you? Like, like I've been waiting for this long, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I apologize. Like, like I told him, like, you're my third order. Like, you're the last one that I have to deliver to. So he was just like, it didn't seem like he was too convinced. So whatever, but I rushed over there, and then when I gave him his food, like, you could just tell in his face, like, he was just like, you're, like, super late and stuff like that. But it was just, the triple stacking was really bad, only because of the first one. And in the first one, when I got out of the parking structure, I had to pay $2 because I went over my, like, 15-minute wait, or the 15 minutes that they give you free, so I had to pay $2, which was BS, but whatever. But that was just a bad one, only because it was a triple stacked, and then, when it comes to stacked orders, you have to be really careful, especially with the customers, because some people are very impatient, or, the app doesn't let them know that it's a stacked order. So if you want to tell them, you have to, let them know by text. But I thought I was going to be able to get it done fast, but it just wasn't the case. But it's okay. Postmates, it's okay, like I said. And then the last one was with DoorDash. That one was when I first started, I think the first 2 weeks of it. So whatever, like, I was delivering like around where I am in the hood or whatever. So I went to Panda, and told her the order, whatever. And then so she told me, hey, like, we don't have the drink that your customer wants. I was just like, oh, okay, well, let me let her know. So I tried texting her, I let her know, hey, like, they don't have the drink that you want, like, do you want anything else? So she didn't respond for like 5 minutes, so I called her, and then she didn't answer. So I called her two more times, and she still didn't answer. So I went to DoorDash customer care. So I let them know, hey, like, they don't have the drink that she wants or that she wanted. And they were like, oh, have you tried to contact the customer? I was like, yeah. So they tried to contact her too. And then they were like, oh, yeah, she's not answering. So what we'll do is we're going to refund her whatever, the amount of the drink was. So I was like, okay, fine. So I got the food or whatever, right? So then the lady at Panda, she was kind of like, she kind of felt bad. She was like, hey, like, just take this drink to her. I know that's not the one she wanted, but maybe it'll be okay. So whatever. So I got the drink. So I got to the, started driving to her house. And then, I always let my customers know, hey, I'm on my way, or when I'm there. So I called her, and then, she's still not responding. Then I text her, she's not responding. So I put on the, the timer, and I let customer care know at at that time, hey, like, customer's not answering. So they were like, oh, like, just put your timer on and see what happens. So the timer was going down to like maybe it was like 30 seconds left, maybe a minute. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, I guess she's not coming out. So, like, apparently, according to her, she was like, hey, like, my phone wasn't getting the text until right now. And, she just kind of had, like, an attitude, like, like, why haven't you delivered my food? And then, like, like, I tried to call her, and I was just like, I was being very patient, but inside I was just like, damn, like, like, this is some BS. But, she was just like, yeah, why haven't you delivered my food? Like, I've been waiting. My phone wasn't having service. That's why I didn't answer your call or your text. I just got them right now. And, like, to me, I thought she was lying, but whatever. So, and then she was like, oh, I'm pregnant, blah, 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 and you have me out here. It was just, like, a big mess, and I'm just like, okay, look, just take your food. Like, it's not that serious. So, and then, okay, so what happened was, with her drink, she was like, oh, like, why did you get me this drink? And I was just like, well, what's it called? I tried to call you and everything, but you weren't answering because they didn't have the drink you wanted. And she was like, oh, and then, like, I told her, like, they're going to reimburse you, DoorDash says. And she kind of calmed down. She was like, whatever. And she was like, oh, that's why I don't tip, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, whatever. I'm, like, gone. But, yeah, those were, like, my worst experiences with each one. Like, usually it doesn't happen. It's not too bad. I think that was the worst one out of all of them. But for the most part, people are very nice, like I said, or very understanding. It was just those couple instances where it's just, like, it was just like, oh, okay, well, you got to be professional, any other time, it's just like, okay, like, you can't be talking to me like this. But, regardless, thanks, guys, for listening. And if you like the video, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up. Goodbye, guys.